Jane Foley talks to us now about the outlook for the common currencies. She's a senior Forex strategist at Rabobank. Hi.
Good morning.
Is it all priced in, Portugal's bailout?
I don't think the euro is behaving as if it really matters. And this is quite interesting because this is a huge turnaround in sentiment to this time last year when we were approaching the Greek crisis. Now, relative to last year, the market seems convinced that EMU is here to stay. Irrespective of what happens in Portugal, the market seems convinced that that cannot bring the euro to its knees.
Complacency or not?
Well, that remains to be seen, but I think the linchpin here is Spain. Now, Portugal is a relatively small economy. If it needed a bailout, it would be approximately the same size as Ireland, not a huge sum when you consider the size of the Eurozone economy. Spain is a different kettle of fish. The GDP of Spain is approximately that of Portugal, Ireland, Greece times 2. If they needed a bailout, that would be very different.
But the spotlight's going to fall on Spain next, isn't it?
Well, we'll wait to be seen, because at the end of last year, the market was quite worried about Spain. And this week, of course, we have had those ratings downgradings, which have, again, put the spotlight on Spain. But right now, the sentiment seems to be that Spain will be okay, that maybe the structural reforms, the budgetary reforms that we've seen will be sufficient. Don't forget also that, the Spanish banking regulator has always had a very strong reputation. Spain's biggest banks, including Santander, have got a very diversified portfolio.
And their ratings stayed the same, didn't they?
Precisely, and that is very crucial. So as long as the market seems to be of the view that Spain will be okay, it seems to be able to dismiss what's going on in Portugal.
What about what's going on in Brussels? We were told, we were guaranteed a comprehensive solution. Have we got enough to appease currency investors or not?
It seems as if we might have that delay. But again, if you look at the size of the EFSF, then it seems that there would be enough funds in there to bail out Ireland, of course, that we've already had, Portugal and probably Spain. Then there would be nothing left. However, of course, if Spain doesn't need a bailout, then perhaps a delay isn't as drastic as it apparently would have appeared a few months ago. And the other thing I think that's really worth pointing out is that a lot of the reason that euro-dollar is trading back where it is related to dollar weakness. The dollar index is at its weakest level for around about 15 months, 14 months. Yeah. So from that point of view, a weaker dollar is something which we're not talking about so much, but is certainly there in the price.
Had some weak data this week, haven't we, out of the United States?
Well, we've had some housing market data, which is very weak. But I think this year, the biggest driver for euro-dollar has been interest rate differentials. Trichet confirmed again last week that they're very likely to hike interest rate next month. Nobody's expecting the Fed to move for quite a long time. And of course, you've got the recycling of the petrodollars. You've got that story, and also something that hasn't really come through, certainly not in long-term interest rates in the US, is this fiscal story in the US. The fiscal position in the US needs cleaning out. They haven't really done an awful lot to do anything about their budget deficit. Their budget deficit this year will be worse than Portugal's, worse than Greece.
At what point, though, do markets start to focus on the US fiscal situation? Because we've been talking about it for so long, but it always seems that the US is given a stay of execution.
They are, and that, I think, allows them to put their head in the sand and not clean up the fiscal position. Now, it was quite interesting a couple of weeks ago when we had those comments from Bill Gross at PIMCO suggesting that he may be drawing money out of the US bond market. And it will be interesting if there is a wake-up call in the US, then that could be a very negative dollar factor. But for now, it seems that they have this stay of execution. Maybe if the Eurozone is good at cleaning up their fiscal position, and progress, of course, has been made, then it will shine the spotlight on the US.
Jane, thanks for joining us today. Jane Foley there from Rabobank.